cause a bit of damage. Let's head out live now to meteorologist Heather Pollauf with the latest. Heather?
Yeah, Jay, we are out on Farnsworth, just west of downtown Waterville, and that's where we still have Toledo Edison workers on scene working to get things cleaned up. I'll step out of the way and show you the damage that we saw right around 3:11 earlier this afternoon. That's when this damage report was put in and actually bringing down some power lines. Now, I talked with firefighters on scene here. They say this particular tree did not take out power to this part of Waterville, but Toledo Edison is reporting up to 400 people in this area are without power. And the same firefighter that I talked to, he told me that there are reports of downed trees and power lines all over this part of Lucas County. So he says that really crews in this area are very busy working to get things like this cleaned up. We're keeping our distance because he said that the lines that are down in this area are live right now. So again, Toledo Edison working to get this cleaned up. He said within probably the next half hour or so, this part of Farnsworth will be reopened. But again, this is after a tree came down, at least a tree branch anyway, came down around 3:11 with gusts up to 60 miles an hour estimated by storm spotters down here. But the firefighter that I talked to, he said that even in his own yard, he had a very large tree that came down. He thinks that the winds were even higher than 60 miles an hour. Of course, that would have to be confirmed with the National Weather Service. But again, Farnsworth, just west of downtown Waterville, expected to reopen within the half hour. Back to you in the studio.
Imagine a job takes you a couple hundred feet above the ground, in the wind, and over traffic flow.
That's the work environment for ODOT workers up on the high-level bridge. And work on the bridge has been ongoing for years. 13 ABC's Heather Pollauf and photojournalist Brian Jegazinski takes us high up on the cables to show us how the current project is helping extend the life of that bridge.
Well, drivers here in Toledo have been seeing a lot of construction on the high-level bridge for a number of years. Of course, it was completely rebuilt just a few years ago, but now we have construction crews back on the high level working on a dehumidification project. And I'm joined with one of the engineers with ODOT. Dehumidification, what is that, and what are you guys doing out here?
So the dehumidification is rewrapping these main cables and then blowing dry air through them. That will help prevent any moisture, prevent any corrosion from starting, and extend the life of the bridge.
Sure, and that saves ODOT a lot of money versus not doing this. And I know that this is some technology that's kind of new to Ohio.
It's very new in Ohio and actually fairly new in the United States. There have only been a handful of bridges with dehumidification systems installed, mostly on the East Coast where the older suspension bridges are.
So in general terms, how does dehumidification work? How do you keep these cables dry, even though we see lots of snow and rain here?
Sure, so we rewrap the cables to make them airtight, and then we will build a building on the ground under the bridge. We'll have big dehumidifiers down there to blow dry air through the cables and force out any moisture and prevent corrosion.
Awesome. So a big job, and you guys have a lot still to do. And if you do drive on the high-level bridge, keep in mind until summer of 2020 is how long you can expect those construction crews to be out here. Back to you in the studio.
It gives you a look at just how brave they are.
No doubt. So much goes into it.
Man.
From an intellectual standpoint, and then the bravery going up there as well.
So we've been telling you about the snow all week long, and really when you talk about a snowstorm like this, you expect to wake up and it's already there, but that's not the case this morning.
No, we had two little batches of snow. We were talking about yesterday. You're going to wake up this morning and have anywhere from 0 to 3 inches. We're pretty close to that. Our Michigan counties, a widespread area of 1 to 2 inches of snow. You go south of the Turnpike, nothing as expected, nothing yet.
Right, so that first batch moved through the area earlier overnight, but we're starting off this morning very quiet, 26 degrees. This is actually our high temperature for today, and we're only going to get colder from here as we get that wind picking up, and we've got the snow coming in as well. The wind already fairly strong, east-northeast, 17 miles an hour, making it feel like just 13 degrees. Those wind chills going to remain in the teens for us through the rest of the day today. Taking a look at satellite and radar, you can see that snow well off to the north now. That's what brought us our coating here in Toledo, up to 1/4 of an inch, and some of our Michigan counties as well, already seeing 1 inch to 2 inches of snow on the ground, and we're going to see that increase through the day here. You start to see a lot of that snow starting to work its way into the area. Also still dealing with some watches and warnings. Of course, these are going to go through the entire day, especially this winter storm warning in place for the majority of our area, all of northwest Ohio, including up into Hillsdale, and then Lenawee and Monroe counties still under that winter weather advisory until about 4 o'clock this evening. So still watching that snow done and out of the single digits. We're going to be done with those for at least the next 7 days. So that's some great news, right? Take a look at satellite and radar over Punxsutawney. This is probably why this groundhog did not see his shadow, because we've got some cloud cover. So no sunshine to cast that shadow. So you can thank that for the prediction for early spring from Punxsutawney. But we have our groundhog here in Toledo, Wildwood Will. He did see his shadow, probably because we've got a little bit of the break in the clouds here. So probably when he came out of his little enclosure here, maybe that's why he saw his shadow. So here in Toledo, Wildwood Will did see his shadow. Of course, the official prognosticator being Punxsutawney Phil. So
while farmers are struggling to get their crops in for the season, they're also thinking about keeping nutrients from running out of their fields. 13 ABC's Heather Pollauf talked with a local farmer about how the state is helping with that effort.
This time of year, all eyes are on Lake Erie and the rivers that flow into the lake, keeping an eye on those phosphorus levels and whether those are going to contribute to a harmful algal bloom later in the summer. Now, there's a program that's helping local farmers keep those nutrients in their fields and helping to offset some of those costs.
It's starting to lose its protein and some of its feed quality.
Northwest Ohio farmers need all the help they can get. Tyler Dravis says he's only been able to plant half of his fields so far because of the weather. But heavy rains can cause another problem, nutrient runoff. And like many other area farmers, he's fighting it with the state's help. It starts with planting crops to keep the nutrients in place.
It'll help grain farmers incorporate wheat, cereal, rye, oats, barley back into their operations, kind of give another extra rotation instead of back to a regular corn beans, which is somewhat typical for the area.
One of the programs helping is called the Buffer Program.
The Buffer Program establishes a semi-permanent vegetative buffer between the farm fields and like a stream or a ditch. So that vegetation will help capture the nutrients before they hit the waterway.
The state provides incentives for those less lucrative crops and connects local farms to distribute manure more efficiently.
If they feel the push then to spread acres, in these wet months, those winter months, then that's where we get our nutrient loading into the waterways.
This is the first year for the program, and the timing is perfect. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, predicts a severe algal bloom on Lake Erie and already high levels of phosphorus in the Maumee River. Heather Pollauf, 13 ABC Action News.
And Heather tells us nearly 400 acres in Lucas County are already enrolled in the program, and soil and water conservation officials are encouraging farmers to apply.
You can find much more information on how to apply at 13abc.com.
Well, a disgusting sight caught the attention of people who live in Sylvania this morning. It's going to give you the creepy crawlies. 13 ABC's Heather Pollauf went to the experts to see what was going on. She brings us the story tonight.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, see it? They're coming out of the grass, like right here.
The only evidence left over from this morning's strange phenomena here on Victoria Court, some brown patches in the street. And neighbors here in Sylvania say after what they saw this morning, they're treating their own lawns. A quiet morning on Victoria Court in Sylvania. Neighbors taking out the garbage didn't expect to see this.
Look, they split up and go around it.
But then when you see millions of those little larvae running around on the street, in lines no less, I mean, they were very uniform in what they were doing.
If you are about to enjoy breakfast, you may want to turn off the Facebook.
We first showed you them this morning on Facebook Live. At first glance, they look like sticks.
Did I miss the comment? Does anybody know what these are?
Closer look shows something much more complex. So we took the video to an expert.
So some sort of fly larvae, looks like maggots of something.
Fungus gnat larvae, to be exact. But what surprises Pavic is the vast amount of them.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that before.
He says it's likely the rainy spring produced more dead or decaying plant material in yards, allowing the population to explode. And after the man on Victoria Court recently treated his lawn for grubs, the race was on.
Here's one coming right here.
To get away.
It's either killing them later or it's just causing a repellent effect or something, they're reacting to it. I'm trying to get away from it.
All of those were in his lawn. What do you think's in yours?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I haven't seen any problems with my lawn yet.
First warning, meteorologist Heather Pollauf, 13 ABC Action News.
And itchy after watching that. Ooh. Well, Dr. Pavic says line formation like that is how these particular larvae swarm, or in this case, evacuate. Well, trying to keep it cool will be easier said than done over the next few days.
All right, expecting temperatures to go where they haven't gone in years, and it'll be anything but a dry heat.
We begin 13 minutes of nonstop news right now with live team coverage with First Warning Chief Meteorologist Jay Burschback and Meteorologist Heather Pollauf.
And Diane, it was a steamer out there today. The high made it to 91. The heat index almost to 100, but thanks to that rain, that kind of held things in check, at least for today.
Sure, yeah, but we are going to be well on our way to a heat index above 100 even tomorrow.
That's correct. And here's a look at where we've been so far this week. So it has been a warm week, but it began with a heat index 85 to 90. Tuesday's heat index 90 to 95. Yesterday 95 to 100. And today, again, 95 to 100 degrees. Now, as far as the heat index for tomorrow, the worst of it, which will be close to 105 for that feels like number, already at noon, maybe 103, 104, the peak of it through the early afternoon, and still very warm at 6 or 7 p.m. Those heat indices still above 100 degrees. And there is that excessive heat warning that's in effect for everybody. It's for tonight, it's for tomorrow, through Saturday evening, and this is a pretty rare warning that comes out of the National Weather Service, and it's not just for us here in Northwest Ohio, but the extent of this heat wave is huge. We'll find out more about that right now with meteorologist Heather Pollauf with the extent of this heat. Heather.
Yeah, Jay, that excessive heat warning extending back to Nebraska and Kansas, lasting through Saturday evening for most. And the National Weather Service office in Cleveland says that a warning like this hasn't even been issued since 2012. So we haven't had heat like this in 7 years. So we have to have a heat index of at least 105 degrees for at least 3 hours a day for 2 days straight. That has to be the forecast in order for a warning like this to be issued, or we have to have a heat index of 115 forecast at all. We'll be coming close to that this weekend. In fact, taking a look at our heat index expected over the next 3 days, getting up to 105 tomorrow, up to 110 for Saturday, and then a little bit of relief comes Sunday. Jay will be breaking this down, coming up with predictor later on in this half hour. But Mackenzie Keyline, she's live right now to let us know about some of the events happening later on this weekend. In fact, keeping some fans cool out at Fifth Third Field. Mackenzie.
Jay, well, the Ohio Department of Health is warning swimmers out at Maumee Bay State Park about water that could actually make you sick. 13 ABC's Heather Pollauf talked with researchers who explain if you're going in for a swim, what you need to do to stay healthy while cooling off this weekend.
Christian, today is day 2 of a high bacterial advisory here at the inland lake at Maumee Bay, the 6th one of its kind so far this season. So what that means is E. coli has been found in this water. And of course, with a couple of big events happening at Maumee Bay State Park this weekend, officials with the University of Toledo who analyze this water say that they've got some tips for you if you plan on getting in to cool off with the high temperatures.
A lot of it depends on weather, rainfall, sunlight. We've had a lot of rain this year. Every year is a little different.
An algal bloom on Lake Erie, but a different hazard to swimmers out at Maumee Bay State Park, E. coli.
If you're going to want to swim where there's an advisory, you have to understand that there's a possibility of somebody getting sick. Most of the time, these recreational water infections, we'll call them, they're not that bad for people, but they can be.
And while this heat wave is extreme, a heat wave in 1936 gave us 7 straight days of temperatures near or above 100, sending swimmers into water that was so contaminated, writers of the Toledo News Beat didn't think it would ever be clean enough to touch again. But the health department says today, conditions are much better.
And what you had open sewers at that point in time. But you got to understand, that's 1936. There's been many, many things that we've done to not have those conditions. I mean, it's a great place to play. I mean, we have people who wade out and fish. We have individuals that crew on the Maumee River.
Back at Maumee Bay, signs are posted to warn swimmers, but if you choose to get in,
try not to get any water in your mouth. And Maumee Bay does have a shower out there when you get out of the water. Rinse off.
Just because there's bacteria in the water doesn't mean that you're going to get sick, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get sick either.
Some of the people we talked to here on the beach say that they were unaware of the advisory. If you want to stay up to date on any of those advisories at Ohio's beaches, we've posted a link at 13abc.com. Christian? We're going to watch that go up over the next couple of days. A reminder, we still have that public health advisory in place out at the beach at Lake Erie at Maumee Bay State Park. This was issued earlier today after NOAA took some pictures of the lakeshore. In fact, you can see that right here of that algal bloom over Lake Erie. It's very obvious here in the western basin. So essentially what that means, again, we've got that elevated recreational public health advisory in place at the beach at Maumee Bay State Park. That means that they've detected dangerous algal toxin levels at the beach there, and they're asking everyone to stay out of the water, avoid all contact. That includes your pets as well. So something that we'll be watching over the next few days. Of course, what contributes to that algal bloom: sunshine, warm weather, and stagnant water, as we really haven't seen a lot of wind out on the lake. That's expected to change over the next couple of days, but what isn't expected to change are the dry conditions. Predictor has us nice and dry.
It's Thursday.
Yes.
It's a new month.
It is.
And it's beautiful.
Brief with their adjustment. Heather's like, my job is done.
Yeah, what else is there to say, right?
Maybe some specifics.
All right, well let's look back even to yesterday, because yesterday was July.
Yes.
So let's take a look back at July. Where did things stand here now that we're in? I actually asked everybody on social media to let us know how you felt about July. But let's take a look here. 17 days, more than half of July was spent above the 90-degree mark. Do you remember that? Do you remember all of that heat and humidity? Well, this is what it added up to: 17 days. The hottest day was July 20th at 97 degrees. That was actually the hottest day of our summer. We spent 16 days nice and dry with lots of sunshine there, but we still managed to get more than 2 inches above normal of rain here, bringing us to about 5 1/3 inches of rain overall for the month of July. The rainiest day for us came July 3rd with more than 1 inch of rain. Do you remember that? The day before the 4th of July, we got all that rain. That's what it amounted to, about a little over 1 inch of rain. So we're saying goodbye to July now, getting into August. We've got lots of sunshine, and a better Sunday is on the way for us. So you might be thinking, well, wow, that was a quick transition from feeling like the 70s to 80s, getting down to a high temperature of only in the 50s. So taking a look at the last few years here, yeah, last year was a pretty swift change as well, and it happened pretty much around the same time, October 10th to 12th. A little bit later in 2017, that one was a pretty swift change as well. More of a gradual change through early November, but we saw that change start right around October 17th to the 20th, so a little bit later in 2016 as well. In 2015, it was another gradual shift, but it started October 12th, and we saw it all the way through the end of October. So yeah, this time of year, we usually start to see that transition from the warm days to the chilly days. So we are right in that time frame, and of course, we're going to continue over the next 7 days to see our temperatures pretty close to this. 52 degrees for a high temperature for today. Lots of
thousands turned out to enjoy the flips, turns, and stunts of the Toledo Air Show this weekend, but 13 ABC got the chance to see all of that from above. Here's 13 ABC's Heather Pollauf, who was along for the ride.
It was a beautiful day for a plane ride. All right, we're about to go up with the Black Daggers. They're gonna jump out of the plane that we're in, so here we go. The Black Daggers are the official U.S. Army Special Operations Command parachute demonstration team. They perform live aerial demonstrations during events like the Toledo Air Show. Today, they flew the American flag during their jump. Get ready to take off, here we go! Once we reached 8,000 feet, time to jump. All right, we just watched the Black Daggers jump out of the airplane. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And now we're just making our way slowly back to the ground. Before long, the team was flying the flag. And after a few minutes, the team had their feet planted firmly on the ground. Heather Pollauf, 13 ABC Action News.
Now, 13 ABC First Warning Weather with meteorologist Heather Pollauf.
Well, we're still about 3 hours away from sunset, but now that the sun is making its way behind some of the buildings, things are cooling off just a little bit here in downtown Toledo, but still warm enough for the kids to need the splash pad. In fact, we've got lots of people down here enjoying the cool water. We also have an ice cream truck down here as well. And so lots of ways to cool off on a hot summer day. And of course, again, we do have lots of sunshine still in place. 90 degrees right now in Toledo. Winds pretty calm. Also dew point down at 61 degrees here. So we have the humidity in place, and things are only going to get more humid over the next couple of days. So taking a look at satellite and radar, lots of blue skies overhead here in northwest Ohio. Some showers and storms off to our south and east. Those are going to stay away from us for the overnight hours tonight, but we could still see a slight chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm this evening with some of that daytime heating, but really that chance remains slight here at this time. So taking a look at predictor, nice and clear skies for us through this evening. Overnight tonight, a couple of clouds here and there, but otherwise nice and calm for us. Starting off with lots of sunshine for your Friday as well, but Friday, yet another chance for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Again, another slight chance there. Most of us staying dry and not seeing the rain. And then Saturday, a better chance for rain. You can see with predictor, by the time we get to 5 o'clock in the evening on Saturday, more chances for showers and storms. So we're going to be tracking that through Saturday. And Sunday brings yet another chance. It's, in fact, in the morning here by 7 a.m., seeing that chance for showers and thunderstorms in the morning on Sunday. So, and that chance really staying with us through the day on Sunday. Along with the rain, we've got the humidity in place as well. So lots of moisture getting into northwest Ohio over the next 7 days. Today we had a dew point of around 68 degrees, 69 for tomorrow, 72 for Saturday. So really feeling that humidity on Saturday. Sunday brings us a little bit of a break, but remember, we do have that better chance for showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, and then back up into the 70s for that dew point Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So when we talk about the humidity and that dew point, that's a good measure of all the moisture in that atmosphere, and really leading to that sticky feel to the air. Overnight tonight, though, 68 degrees, winds calm down, mostly clear and mild. A little bit of humidity there for tonight, but more of it for tomorrow under sunny skies. And again, we do have that chance for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon for tomorrow. High, yet again, 91 degrees. So if we hit 90 tomorrow, that'll be the third 90-degree day so far this year. And take a look at your extended forecast. 88 degrees for Saturday, Sunday getting up to 87 degrees. Again, that chance for showers and thunderstorms continues through the weekend. And Monday and Tuesday, nice and dry for us, but getting close to 90 degrees. Wednesday will hit 90 degrees, and that'll bring us another chance for showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon there as well. We also taking a look at the 4th of July. And in terms of our forecast there, getting up to 88 degrees for our high temperature there. Expecting 88 degrees for the afternoon, but overnight for the evening hours anyway, when you're going out to enjoy some of those fireworks, expecting things to cool off to 84 degrees. So we're still expecting all of those temperatures, the high temperatures through the next week to be in the upper 80s to low 90s. And that humidity, again, just as I showed you, going to be there for the entire 7-day forecast. So really summer here to stay. We're going to be enjoying it for the next 7 days, and probably more of this in the forecast as well for a lot of people here in downtown Toledo. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Heather, thanks. Yeah, they're saying finally they can have fun in the sun.
Yeah, they're making
the
some
water.
new friends down there, right? Our Independence Day.
Now, 13 ABC First Warning Weather with meteorologist Heather Pollauf.
Well, sunrise officially happened about an hour ago, but we're still enjoying those beautiful colors out there thanks to some cloud cover as we're taking a live look over the Maumee River near downtown Toledo. You can see some of those clouds starting to make their way out of the camera view here. 72 degrees so far this morning. Winds nice and calm, but those will eventually pick up off of the lake later on today. We'll take a look at that here coming up. But the dew point, 57 degrees right now, so that means we've got some dry weather in place, more comfortable than what we saw yesterday. Take a look at our feels like temperatures right now. 72 here in Toledo, 69 down toward Bowling Green, 74 for a feels like temperature out toward Sandusky. But that's where we're going to see some cooler temperatures because of that lake breeze later on today. Take a look at satellite and radar, seeing more of those showers and storms continuing to get out of the area. In fact, also weakening. We're no longer seeing any lightning associated with these. Just some rain showers moving through the Findlay area, Arlington, just about to enter into upper Sandusky this morning. So some of us waking up to some puddles because of that. By the time we get to 8, 9 o'clock this morning, everyone should be nice and dry. Just a couple of clouds left over from that system, and even the clouds are going to make their way out of the area, leaving us with lots of bright sunshine for the rest of your Sunday. In fact, stopping the clock at 3:30, just a couple of clouds south of the area. All of us staying dry through the day today, overnight tonight, and into the first part of your Monday. Lots of sunshine to start off Monday morning at 9:30. A couple of clouds starting to make their way back into the area, though, as we do have a slight chance of some afternoon showers and storms. Predictor showing that here at 4 o'clock. Ottawa, Bryan starting to see some of those getting into the area, and that chance is going to stay with us through the afternoon and evening on Monday. Overnight Monday, though, and into Tuesday, we'll start dry, but you can already start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms getting into the area as we've got the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry starting to get closer to northwest Ohio. So we'll be watching that rain chance as we get into the new work week. Predictor feels like temperatures up into the 80s for today by the time we get to 5 o'clock. But you'll notice along the lake shore, we've got that lake breeze. It's going to keep that feels like temperature down into the 70s for Port Clinton, Sandusky, even some communities right along the lake shore, Oregon, Point Place included with that. So something to contend with, especially for Port Clinton. They've had a lot of flooding issues with the high lake levels, so with that northeast breeze, that's something that you can expect yet again today. Now, beyond the remnants of Barry here that we're expecting Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got a lot of heat on the way for the second half of your work week and into the weekend. By Saturday, seeing that heat index up to 110 degrees, so some dangerous heat on the way. Of course, that not expected until Friday and Saturday, but still something that you want to prepare for. For today, 89 degrees. We've got more comfortable conditions on the way for today. Even though we're going to get close to 90 degrees, the humidity much lower than yesterday, so more comfortable. Lots of sunshine and again that lake breeze. Overnight tonight, the wind shifts out of the east 5 to 10 with a low of 65 degrees. Clear, calm, and warm. And for tomorrow, up to 91. More humidity on the way. And we do have that slight chance of the afternoon showers and storms as well for your Monday. Better chance of storms comes Tuesday and Wednesday as the remnants of Barry get closer, and highs every day of the week at or above 90 degrees for most of those days. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, though, with that humidity plus the highs into the low 90s, really going to make for some hot and humid conditions.
Yeah, I was just thinking next Saturday from 2 until 5, Michaela and I are going to be out at Fallen Timbers in a dunk tank.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be raising money for our Stuff the Bus campaign, so
that's going to be nice for you because you're going to get into the water.
I'm going to appreciate every time that Tina dunks me.
I was going to say, how much does it cost? I have a lot of questions.
I don't know about the cost yet. I just know that I'm going to get dunked.
Tony's going to be like, keep throwing them.
Yeah.
I want to get me in the water.
This is good.
Yeah, and especially when it's that hot.
I think that I should take up a collection.
Yeah.
Viewers, who wants to see Tony get dunked?
There you go. That's the whole idea.
I like it. All right, thanks, Heather.